Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make dark beats for somebody like 21 Savage from scratch. So step one was to find a really dark sample, so I went into my most recent sample pack called Nightfall Volume 4, and I found one of the darkest samples I could find that kind of fit the vibe of somebody like 21 Savage. Once I had the sample, I laid down some pretty simple drums, I arranged it, and that was pretty much it. But yeah, like I said, this beat was from scratch, so I'm going to go ahead and break down everything I did from the sample, the thought process behind the drums. But anyways, I'll leave a link down in the description for the sample pack and the drum kit I use in this video if you're interested in that. But yeah, don't forget to subscribe and let's get right into it. Alright, so I got the final sample pulled up here. We're sitting at 152 BPM and the final sample is in B minor. As you can see, I pitched it down 2 semitones, pitched it down from C sharp to B. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just play it so you guys can hear it, and then like I said, I'm gonna break down everything I did to make it. Yeah, so as you can hear, very dark, definitely 21 Savage vibes. Yeah, for the first sound, I went into Analog Lab and I pulled up this key, and I came up with this pretty simple pattern right here. I think the sound is from an HZE Analog Lab bank. It's a pretty simple pattern, it's just 2 chords. So I started at A sharp, the root note at A, and I just came up with this simple chord like this, pitched this up, and then I put another chord right here with the root note at F, and I just copy and pasted that over all the way throughout the pattern. And I just added this note right here, so we went from C to C sharp, and then this top note an octave up at A sharp. And I'll go ahead and play how it sounds. Like I said, it's pretty simple, pretty repetitive. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the first sound. And then what I did is I rendered it out as an audio file and I brought it into the playlist and I reversed it so it sounds like this. What I did once I had it reversed like that is I put it to a separate mixer channel. I pitched it up 3 semitones and then I added some effects to it. So I added sketch cassette to add some wow and flutter. I added 50% halftime. I added soothe, take out some of the harsh frequencies. And then I added tremolator to make the sound go kind of in and out. And then I added a pan man to make it go back and forth. And then I added an EQ just to take out the low end. And this is what that sounds like. I kind of turned it into like its own pad. Basically, I took the original sound, reversed it, pitched it up, added some effects, and it just made it sound more unique. And for the next sound, I just took the same exact pattern that I had from the first sound, the MIDI pattern, and I pasted it in here. And because I pitched this up 3 semitones, I wanted to match the MIDI to that. So I pitched it, like I said, when we started, we were at A sharp. I pitched it up 3 semitones to C sharp. And then I pitched it up a whole octave, and again I went into Analog Lab and I think it was an HZE preset bank, and I found this like pad bell sound. I added some effects. I added sketch cassette, an EQ to take out some of the highs and some of the lows, some Valhalla Ubermod with this reverb, soothe again to take out some of the harsh frequencies, and then tremolator to make it go in and out. And then once I had that sound with those effects that I liked, I added I messed around with some halftime. So I added 1 halftime at 100%, and as you can see here, I have that with an automation clip, and then I have another halftime right here that's at 50%. Just to add more low end, and it just made the sound a lot better. This is with the halftime all the way up, and then with the halftime down. Alright, the next thing that I did is I went into Contact and I pulled up this preset right here in the Orchestra Complete 2 sound bank. I pulled up this preset, Big Orchestra Sustains, and I just added these strings, just as kind of like a counter melody. I'll go ahead and play it. And then I have a second part right here where it's the same exact pattern, but it's pitched up an octave. Alright, so for effects on the strings, the only thing I added was a EQ to take out some of the low end, some of the high end, and then a reverb. Alright, so the next thing I added was a bass string with the sample, so I went into the same exact Contact bank and I pulled up this preset right here, and I laid down this really simple pattern just at the beginning of every bar. And for effects, I added sketch cassette, make it sound more vinyl. I added delay with Echo Boy. I added a lot of reverb, a pan man to make it go back and forth really slow, and then a EQ to take out the low end, the very low end. And last but not least, I came up with this really complex pattern right here. with a piano from Contact, just a basic pure piano from the wire. Yeah, like I said, really complex pattern right here. Literally one note, just as a bass note. And then for the effects, I just added a reverb and an EQ to take out, again, the very low end. So once I had all that, I just arranged it how I wanted it. As usual, I just have different sections right here, and then I have the stems at the end. But once I did that, I just brought it back in. I pitched it down 2 semitones, put it to its own mixer track, and I put some virtual tape machine on it, some Soothe 2, once again, for some reason it's not showing up, but Soothe 2 to take out some of the unwanted frequencies, and then an EQ, again, to do the same thing. And I added a bass, just a simple one-shot bass, and it just basically follows a root note and then goes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 semitones at the end. Yeah, really simple bass pattern, and that's pretty much it for the sample. After that, I just rendered it out, and then now we can get into the drums. So first of all, for the drums, I used my Slat drum kit. I dropped this drum kit a while ago, but it still has really good drums. It has my go-to drums, and then it has a separate drum folder with more unique drums. I think it has a total of over 150 drums with some bonus samples. So I use that for all the sounds in this beat. So if you're interested in that, I'll leave a link down in the description. So I'll go ahead and show all the drum sounds that I picked, and then I'll go through my thought process on all the patterns as well. But yeah, the first thing that I did is I added this hi-hat. I'll go ahead and show the pattern. So yeah, like I said, really simple, just a simple 2-step. This little triplet right here, and then 1 hi-hat, 2 semitones down. And then for effects on the hi-hat, I like to do this a lot, is I put a little bit of distortion on it, a little bit of reverb, and I started adding, messing around with the different presets in Thermal. Thermal kind of just adds some, like, I don't know, weird dynamics, adds some distortion to it as well. Once I had the hi-hats, I just added the rim and the clap, so it just sounds like this. Yeah, basic clap pattern. So when I layered them, it sounded pretty unique, and I thought it sounded cool. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that I pitched the sample down from B minor to A minor, so I pitched it down 2 more semitones. Now we're in A minor, and so I have this 808 pattern right here. And then it just repeats. And then I added a simple kick pattern to go along with the 808. And I don't have the kick on every single 808. As you can hear, the kick and the 808 kind of go back and forth, and it just adds more bounce in my opinion. So the next thing that I did is I added 2 different snares. So I have this first snare right here, and then I have another one right here with this little pattern at the end. I'll go ahead and play how it sounds with everything so far. Then the final thing that I forgot to mention when I was going over the drum sounds was this open hat. Simple like variation like that'll keep the beat a little bit more interesting. Yeah, once I had all the sounds, I just added this riser right here. I'll go ahead and play how it sounds. This is also from the Slat drum kit. And then what I did is I arranged the sample in the drums how I wanted. So I have this first part right here where the full sample plays at the very beginning. It's kind of like an intro, and then it kind of goes into this part right here where I added a halftime, and I added an automation clip. And then at the very end, this whole part right here is for the verse, and so at the very end it kind of comes back out of the halftime and then back into the hook right here, and then back into another verse, and then an outro. A really simple arrangement. For the master, all I have is a soft clipper. That's literally it. I know some people try to go crazy with the master, but really all you need is a soft clipper and maybe an EQ. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the beat. That's how I go about making a dark beat for somebody like 21 Savage. Like I said, I'll leave a link down in the description for the sample pack and the drum kit if you're interested. Hopefully you guys learned something. Hopefully you took something away. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just play the beat, let it ride out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.